came to work, and everything seemed okay. Didn't get no phone calls or whatever. So it was about 9 o'clock, I think, roughly, that time. And I get this phone call, and it was from the fire chief. And it said, Joyce, you need to get everybody out. You have 1 hour, exactly 1 hour. If you take longer than 1 hour, they're going to be trapped. I'm thinking, oh. And I think my first thing was to say to him, are you going to provide some transportation? Are you going to help me? And the answer back was, no, I am sorry. There is no way that I can help you. You're on your own. That actually was like a lump in my stomach. And I'm thinking, oh my God, now what? So I didn't panic. That's the one thing I've learned over the years, is to not panic, because if I panic, then I'm no good. So I tried to stay as calm as I could. Over the speaker, I announced to all the staff that we need to evacuate immediately. I called maintenance and all maintenance personnel, and they came over, they assisted. And I spoke with the head of maintenance, who phoned Sandstone Lodge,
Yes.
and said, very politely, you need to get your butt here now and be prepared to stay the day. Kind of in those words.
and bring a bus, and bring a 20-passenger bus. And drive as quickly as you can to get here.
And I have, just at the top of my head, Spitzy House, Soderberg, and my residents, not counting volunteers or anything else, roughly 200 people to evacuate. So, within 1 hour, we had everybody out. Actually, it took 1 hour and I think 7 minutes, but we had everybody out. And I tell you, I cannot thank the community and the people along here, especially along here, that just came. It was like a circular motion. They would drive up, because we had a circular area at the front of the lodge. They would drive up, and this is the funny moment. We were normally going to take a resident out. We would want to make sure that, okay, that resident, the truck's not too high for them to get into, or it's they got enough leg room. We got to make sure they get in the front or whatever. That day, if you could walk and you could breathe, we don't care. We hoist you up, we got you in, because someone will be on the other end at the school.
At the Highwood High
At
School.
the Highwood School. That will take care of you at that end. I wasn't worried about that end. I was worried about this end of getting them out, because by this time the water was coming down that 9th Street here, and it was starting to come pretty fast.
We're all under the assumption that we're going to be back by supper time. Joyce's staff packed up lunches. They made sandwiches. We were actually one of the first parties to arrive at the evacuation center. I think we fed everybody lunch that day, not just our seniors.
Yeah.
After Joyce left, I actually thought, well, maybe we'll be out for supper time. So I went over, loaded up my SUV full of supper, because they left the salad bar. And I thought, oh, I'll just stick that in my vehicle. And I actually had our water supply that we were bringing, and some beverages, and took some soup and some crackers and buns, and brought it all. How naive we were. How really naive we were.
I think the one very, very funny moment of this whole, just to get the evacuation, because it was another story when we got to the evacuation site, because it wasn't just one evacuation. We ended up evacuating a couple of times. But while I was busy trying to get everybody, like, you know, you come, you've got a vehicle, I've got 4 residents, you can take 4 residents, okay, let's get them in, let's get them go, so we can get the next vehicle in and get them loaded up. We saw Canada Bread fighting their way, the truck, the driver with Canada Bread, fighting their way through the traffic, through everything that was going on, through all the water, and I watched as he came in and came by the loading dock. And I'm thinking, does this man not get it? Anyway, I'm thinking, I have more important things to worry about than the bread man. So he goes to the loading dock, he loads up our supply of bread that we normally get, and comes into the lodge all whistling, happy, goes right into the fridge, unloads the bread, and leaves us a bill.
$18.19. I had to pay it in November.
As he was leaving, he goes, there's a lot of water around here. Nonchalant, gets in his truck, and away he drives. I have to say, that is someone that is dedicated to their job.
My husband does marketing, sport promotions, and I came to work with about a dozen Stampeders football shirts, and we had at least 4 or 5 staff members who had no home to go to that night. and they came to work the next day. They came to Sandstone, and I passed out T-shirts, and they were all wearing the same red T-shirts, and it was almost a little comical at the time. And you have to have some humor in the situation. It just it helps you cope and helps you get through. And we just chuckled.
Yeah. I mean, the staff were real troopers. Like when all the flooding was taking place, their top priority was the seniors.
They left their vehicles to drive our buses. I mean, we had staff who left their vehicles, staff who went to the evacuation center, who left their vehicles here in an effort just to make sure that they can greet seniors. The welfare of our seniors was number one, and that's just amazing dedication on behalf of the staff.